So scary. Cool, so we're gonna get started right away because we have a long one ahead of us today. Sorry, or you're welcome. So on stage before you is Concert Orchestra. They are gonna start with Norwegian dances. I've been calling it Hungarian because of the one later, you'll see why. So it's 3 Norwegian dances. It's a 3-movement piece. It is traditional not to clap between the movements. This is actually a piece that they voted on. I usually have each ensemble vote on a piece in the spring that they want to do at the spring concert. And this was one they voted on. There was no pop songs. And I was just like, you guys want to do a neoclassical music? Cool. But it is a really great piece. It really challenged them, really pushed them forward. So I hope you enjoy Norwegian dances. So this next piece, I'm actually going to leave the stage. I'm done. Bye. This is actually the first time in my career where I actually have one of my students saying, like, hey, I want to go into music ed. And my first response to him was, are you sure? Or like, are you sure you want to do it? You see me every day. You see this hairline. Are you sure you want to do this? Really excited for this next person coming up. She has been working so hard at becoming a really, really great music teacher, and she hasn't even started yet. She's going to Grand Valley in the fall. She's going to be studying music education. Samantha Rometti, everybody.
Hi. I just wanted to say thank you to Mr. Trains for giving me this opportunity to conduct a piece with Concert Orchestra. They've been a very lovely orchestra, and it's been a really nice experience. So thank you so much, Mr. Trains.
I forgot to mention before that Sam worked with concert on that entire piece. I had very, very little at the last 3 days. But that was all that work, all the good sounds you're hearing is all because of Sam. So let's give her one more round of applause, please. So every year in concert orchestra, we have 2 awards that we give out, the most improved and the most valuable. And the most improved, every time we hear that, so it's like, oh, they were like meh before, now they're like, yeah, really good. I hate that feeling because it's not actually true whatsoever. All these people in front of you have been amazing the entire time. And honestly, if I can give this group, like, award to every single person in this orchestra, I would. This orchestra has worked so incredibly hard. So it's always amazing to see where concert starts and where they end. They're coming from 2, 3 different middle schools, possibly even 4 sometimes. They're coming from out of district, and they all have to like kind of sit down with each other and start making awesome music. And this group has been exceptional at that. They were half a grade away from a 1 at festival. Half a grade. It's okay. I'm not salty. But anyway, so on these 2 awards, they vote on, like, it's all student voting. I have no say in it. I found that like 9 times out of 10 when students vote on like these 2 awards, they get it right every time. And it's been not different at all this year. So the most improved this award, most improved musician this, oh my gosh, talk to me. It's a Monday. Concert on Monday, yeah. The most improved musician award this year goes to Kaushik Dasaka. Finally, most valuable musician. Again, this person has gone above and beyond this year. Truly, truly has been amazing to watch them grow. This person, like, when I tell the kids, like, when they're voting, like, when you're thinking of this person to vote for, think of the first person that comes to your mind when you think of this orchestra and just who is, like, on top of their stuff, not just musically, but also leadership-wise and just on top of everything else outside as well. And I think, again, this year it was no different. It was amazing to see them grow. Riley Veach. I have the actual plaques for these awards backstage as well, so parents, if you want to get photos with them after the concert, you're more than welcome to. They'll be up here at the end of the concert. Yeah, awesome job. So this will be our last piece for concert orchestra. This last piece is called Strings Cut Loose. It's a good time. When I picked this piece, I'm like, oh, they're gonna have fun with this one. I thought it was gonna be a little bit of a struggle for them. I haven't rehearsed it much this week because they learned it in 3 days. So that's impressive. It is a 3.5, so it's the hardest piece they've played so far this year. It's a lot of fun, and you might get really involved with it. Hint, wink. So enjoy Strings Cut Loose. Nice job of staying in time. Yeah. You must have raised musicians. Crazy. Cool. All right, so we're going to switch over to Philharmonia now, so give us like a couple minutes just to get switched over here, and we'll be right back. Thank you. I love this state, but I hate the state. It was just 80 degrees, now it's 60, so imagine wooden instruments that go great time. I love it. So before you on stage is Philharmonia. They have 3 pieces for you. The first one is called Dorian Dance. This really pushes the level of like rhythmic intensity. It goes through a key signature, or no, sorry, a time signature like every bar, sometimes 2 bars. And it's not normal like time signatures. It's not just 4/4, 3/4, but they also have 6/8, 8/8, where it's like a 3/3, 3/2 pattern. It's weird. When I first showed it to them, they were like, "You serious?" And I think they've actually grown to like it a little bit. That says all I need to hear. Sweet. So this is Dorian Dance. Thank you. This mic stand's broken. I talked to the odd tech teacher. Okay, so our next piece is a fiddling piece. It's called Blue Fire Fiddler. It is written by Suni Newbold, who I adore and love. She's a great, great composer. She was actually the all-state director this year out of MMC. Really. So really, really cool piece. It is intense for the violins mostly. Sorry, violins. You're welcome. So yeah, really excited for this next piece. It is, what is it called again? Blue Fire Fiddler. Zero. I gotta rock a cowboy hat. I'm just saying. It helps with like lack of hair there. Cool. So we same as concert. Philharmonia has the two of the same awards: the most improved and the most valuable. And again, students vote on them as well. So it's really, really, again, a really cool way of just getting the orchestra involved in like the family kind of aspect that I love going around here. So the most improved award this year. This person is gonna give it away, so I'm sorry. I switched instruments this year. They really, really just like fantastic stuff. I'm trying not to cry. It's fine. This person was the most shyest person I've ever met in my life about 2 years ago when I first started here. And they've just blossomed into someone that I wish would stop talking a little bit. Just a little. But they're just a fantastic human being, and I could not think of a better recipient of this award this year. So this year, the most improved musician goes to Kelsey Hill. On top of that, she just learned the viola this year, because she's cool, but she also made it into symphony on viola. That's pretty impressive. So all right, and then the last award we have is the Most Valuable Musician Award. This person has just been a rock star from the beginning of the year. I was like, I remember listening back to their first chair test, and I was like, oh my gosh, they've grown so much over the summer. What happened? And then Marla called me and said, hey, I have this person I'm teaching. I'm like, oh, okay, that checks out. Marla is one of our sectional coaches, and I'm like, yep, okay, that makes sense. This person has been just incredible, rocking it, holding it down, really just top-notch musician. So this year it goes to Riley Marshall. So our last piece is Ghost of Bohemia. Again, like all the groups get to pick like one of the pieces that they get to do on the concert. And this piece, I was surprised made the list first because I was thinking about doing this with Symphony at the Halloween concert. Sorry, Symphony, we gotta wait a couple of years to do this again. It is a really cool piece. It's by a composer named Josh Brazenkow, who's done a lot of pieces that we've done before, Dark and Shadows a couple of years ago. Really, really cool composer. And this one won it by like a landslide. And I was really worried because it's a grade 4.5. It is probably the hardest piece a lot of these kids have ever seen. And my God, have they rose to the occasion. They have grown so much over this year. Like at the beginning of the year, it was a hodgepodge of like, oh gosh, are they gonna get this right? Or like, and by the end of this, I mean, most of them have made it into symphony next year, and it shows the true level of character and like just the true musicianship that they put forward the entire year. This group at festival got like a 1, not all across the board, but a 1. This was the first time that Philharmonia in, was it 13 years, has gotten a 1 at festival. Before that's either they haven't gone or it's like straight 2s and 3s. So like this group has been phenomenal. So this is Ghost of Bohemia. officially need a break. So we're going to take a 15-minute intermission just to get our senior soloists ready and symphony ready to go. So now's the time to just use the restroom. I don't think we have any snacks. I'm sorry, I failed on that part. So we'll see you back here in 15 minutes. Thank you. Before we start back up again, we do have a message from the music patrons. So I want to invite Monica Cardenas and Deb Stanek up to the stage, please.
Hi, everyone. We just want to thank everybody for coming tonight, and we wanted to remind you, in case you didn't know this, that each of you is a member of the FHS music patrons simply by having a child in the music program. Our music program benefits in numerous ways through the help of all of our parent volunteers, so we'd like to recognize all of you. If you've chaperoned any event, field trips or special events, either for orchestra or any other music program, if you've been a photographer or helped take pictures and capture moments for anything, if you have helped with tag days, that's a big one. If you were a driver, you donated food, you counted money, you helped with anything, we thank you for that. If you donated food for anything else, if you drove kids or equipment anywhere, and we'd like to thank you for all of those things, so thank you. Next year, Orchestra will have a concert, we'll start having concert wear. We wanted to recognize Tina Morgan, who's our uniform manager. She helps all music kids, band, orchestra, marching band, and marching band. Next year also going to be orchestra. She takes care of all of our uniforms, takes care of everything, cleans everything, mends everything. She does a lot of work for us, so we want to thank her for that.
There you go. Thank you, Debbie.
Thank you.
Isn't she wonderful? So this is our last year with the music patrons, but we are leaving you in good hands. We have amazing board members. Ashley Jaleel, our secretary, Andrea Brown as well. She is a senior mom as well. But we did hold new positions, and so our new president will be Matt Dzinski. Vice president will be Dawn Holiday Pitcher. Orchestra chair will be Amy Martin. Winter guard chair will be Sarah Bedola. Our uniform chair will be Jerry Wolf, but we are still seeking help in uniforms because we will have uniforms for band, orchestra, and marching band. So there's a big need there. We have an open position for concert band chair and transportation. So if you feel like you can help in any way, please feel free to reach out to the board members. If you do not know who the board members are, how to reach them, if you go to fhsmusic.org, it lists everybody and it has a way to reach out to any one of us. The last thing that I want to introduce is as we're departing, we are figuring out what more can we do with this program. And one of the ways in which we have decided is useful, especially for our outgoing students and our students that have graduated many years ago, is building an alumni association. So this is particularly for the music program, so it would be band, orchestra, and marching band. And it will continue to connect these students. They will be able to network with each other, give each other potential interests, whether it be a job or an activity. So you can go to fhsmusic.org and we will have some information on that alumni association listed as well. Jacob?
So last thing for music.
Sorry.
So last thing for music patrons, we want to invite Andrea Brown up on the stage, please, if she's here. Yeah, she's here. Good, awesome. So we're reaching the stage of where the people that know when I was hired or were here my first year, you're now on the upper side and about to leave, which is crazy. But when I was hired in here, I came in October, 2 weeks before our Halloween concert. Remember that? It's terrible. Halloween spectacular. Oh, yeah. It was just it was insane. I went from teaching at a DPS school that had barely any program to Farmington. It was just a total culture shock for me. And honestly, if it wasn't for Andrea here, I don't think we would be as successful as we are that first year and even right now. All the stuff that we did for the orchestra, all these banners for the first time, that's all Andrea's idea. All the new swag that we have with the FHS shield on it, that was all Andrea before I even got here. So again, Andrea, if it wasn't for you, I don't know where my shoes would be, man. So I appreciate it. You've done so much. I'm really sad that you're leaving. It's oh no, but I totally understand. So thank you so much. Cool. All right, so next on our program is our senior soloists. This last year, I made it a lot harder to become a senior soloist. You had to go to district solo ensemble and get a 1, and then also go to state solo ensemble and also get a 1 there. And I think, oh, it's gonna be, I'll have maybe 1 or 2 every couple of years. This year I had 5 events that qualified. It's fine. And they're all fantastic. And they all absolutely deserve it. They're doing some really legitimate music. All the music you're about to hear from this point on is original for the most part. We had to do some retranscribing for strings only, but it's legitimately the music that the composer wrote. And it's some really, really high level music. So our first senior soloist is a phenomenal human being. She is not only a very, very gifted violinist, but also a very gifted dancer. It was her that a couple years ago we actually got to collab with the dance department, the dance company, in fact, we did a piece called Enough. It was really, really cool, and she was kind of like the main person behind that. So really excited for this one. This is Jacqueline Brown. We're just getting started. Cool. All right, so our next person up is our concertmaster for this orchestra here. Sorry, this mic stand's being weird. She's been a phenomenal human being ever since I met her. She was in symphony when I first got here as a sophomore, and since I've met her, she's just become a true leader in this ensemble. Not only in the aspect of musical leadership, but just leadership in general. She's the one that always gets the people together. She actually gets the class together more often than I do. And they're all like talking and whatnot. She'll be the one that's like, hey guys, stop talking. And then you're immediately quiet. I'm just like, why can't I do that? So, a really awesome human being. I also want to point out as well that we have Scott Schroeder on the piano for this one because there's so many wind parts that need to be covered. So we can get a round of applause for Scott first. You will see him later as well on the Brahms duo. But next on stage here is Helen Lehman. All right. Our next performer is a fabulous, fabulous musician. He's actually decided to make music his career as well, but more on the cello performance side of the thing. He saw me and was like, no, I don't want to teach. So he took my advice. Good job. He'll be attending U of M this fall in cello performance. Not only that, he was the first chair cellist at the All-State Ensemble this year. Just a phenomenal cellist. Got almost accepted to Juilliard. I'm sorry, Melissa. He was that close. But phenomenal kid, phenomenal human being. Was with me most of the day. He had me third, fourth, and fifth hour. So like the entirety of the day, it was just Brandon. So anyway, here's Brandon Gajic. I forgot to mention that like Brandon burned the crap out of his hands on Tuesday. Like he has second-degree burns on his hands, and not from the cello playing. So really impressive. Our next person coming up is one of my favorite human beings on the planet. Ever since I met him, you're the only one that laughs at my jokes, like respectively, and I really appreciate it. Fantastic human being, great cellist, Antonio Hope. I want to recognize, because they're about to walk off stage. No. Yes, all these solos are magnificent. They deserve another round of applause right now. We do have one more set of senior solos. It technically counts as a duet because it also did qualify. I'll talk about that more in a second. We just need a couple seconds to actually change the stage. But I do want to give another hand to all the members of the orchestra, because not only did the solos have to learn all this stuff, but they're learning 5 pieces plus another piece that they're actually learning. So I had them doing 6 pieces at once, and I'm not dead yet, so that's cool. So give us like 30 seconds to switch over the stage just a little bit, and we'll be right back. Thank you. All right, cool, and we're back. Thank you for that, I appreciate it. So this last of the senior soloists is technically actually a duet. They told me at the beginning of the year, they were like, these two kids were doing Brahms duo, and I was like, of course you are, because why not? Why not add to the list? It's a really, really challenging piece, really cool piece. And they still went through the requirements, so they did go to state solo ensemble, they did go to state, they did get a 1. And I wasn't going to do it, because this concept's already, oh God. And my child's still here, oh God. We're gonna have a fun put down tonight, it's gonna be great. Anyway, they qualified for this as well. I wasn't going to do it, but then the judge that judged them at State Solo Ensemble called me the next day and said, if you don't put this on your program, I'm going to hurt you. Her exact words. So for my safety and the safety of my family, I would like to welcome back Helen Lehman and Brandon Gajek doing the Brahms duo. Okay. The part. I'm fine. All right. This is our time where we recognize our seniors. I'll talk more about it later, but this class is just truly, truly incredible. I'm going to invite each one of them out to stand up on stage here. Please applaud for every single one. As I call their name out, they deserve every bit of praise. So first is Maria and Manoj. It's fine. Jacqueline Brown. Ivan Cruz. Lily Erickson. Brandon Gajic. Antonio Hope. Nitya Kasula. Samanthiva Kolipaka. Helen Lehman. Callie Nardelli. Audrey Perry. Samantha Rometti. And last and certainly not least, Charmy and Conti. I'm okay. I got this. I got this. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, the sheer amount of just talent and kindness and just hard-working groups of people just right in front of you right now. This class has been nothing but stunning, truly. This group really has pushed this orchestra program into a new era. When I first came here, we were struggling with grade 3s and grade 4s and symphony level, and this group just took Adagio for Strings, Hindemith, and Orion and Scorpion 2 Festival and got straight ones, and is the reason why Farmington is the talk of the state right now. To say I'm proud of them is truly an understatement. They knew my tricks. They knew what I was when I walked in. They're not like the last 2 classes that kind of, had a director and then got a new one. So these group of kids knew what they were getting into, and they're still here. So thank you, appreciate that. To say that these people will be missed is like a true understatement, and I love them so much. And like, without them in the halls, it's gonna feel really empty around here. Really, really empty. So with that being said, I would like to present the Farmington High School Orchestra class of 2025. All right, give us another minute so we can reset the stage for our last piece. I do have some more talking to do, so if you need to run to the restroom, I highly encourage you to do so now. So we'll be back in like a minute. Thank you. All right, we're almost there. I'm sorry. I'm not as long as the band concert though, so I want it put on record. Granted, Mr. Steele is retiring, so that was like a 3.5+ hour concert. So I am only going to hit 2.5. Check, win. Okay. Before we go on to our last piece with Symphony here, I have some awards I need to give out as well, as long as some thank yous. So I'm going to be talking for a second, so I'm sorry or you're welcome. So the Symphony has 4 awards. 2 of them are picked, well, sorry, 3 of them are picked by me and Mr. Steele. We kind of collaborate on both of those and think who's the best one for each fit. And then the last one, the National School Orchestra Award, is voted on by the ensemble behind you. Behind me, sorry, not behind you. There's no ensemble, well, there is, but not really. So this first award is the Grant Homke Award. Grant Homke was the orchestra and band director here for 11 years. He actually still lives in the area too. I tried to invite him to give this award. But this award goes to a junior that shows true leadership and will be like the next generation of like just leaders in this ensemble who we think is going to be like, you know, the #1 person, not so to speak like the aspect of musicality, but just leading, family-oriented, all that stuff. And this year, that winner is Guy de Meester. Cool. So our next award can go to either a junior or a senior. I decided this year it needed to be a senior because this person has just done nothing but amazing things for this program. The next award is the Norm Logan Scholarship Award. This does come with a scholarship and some money. So is the Grant Homke actually. So we'll talk later, Gaia. So this person really just top notch. Norm Logan was the band director here for almost 20 years. Some change. The crazy thing is I actually have like a connection with him. My grandmother actually taught with him back in like the late 80s. I'm making a nod from my parents. Okay, cool, awesome, yeah. So like when I first walked in, I'm like, hi, I'm Jacob Trains. He goes, oh my God, I'm so old. But it's been truly awesome to just get to know him and just like really see what he's done to this program and just all that stuff. So the Norm Logan Scholarship this year goes to Helen Lehman. All right, next award is the Director's Award. I went back and forth on this award for, seriously, since the beginning of the, not beginning of the year, but like January, so beginning of the fiscal year. This usually just is given to a senior that I believe has just shown true exemplary passion for the art and just really, really cares about what we do here. I couldn't decide between a multitude of people, and then especially with this senior class, it's just been incredibly, incredibly difficult. So this year, Mr. Steele and I decided to open up to 2 seniors, both in the band and both the orchestra. And both of these 2 seniors that have won this award tonight have been nothing but amazing to this program. They, as I said, in the senior speeches, they really, this whole class pushed this whole program forward. These 2 were actually here doing it. Yeah, they're just, I'm amazed by both of them every single day. So the first winner, someone that's, I'm gonna give it away for a second, sorry, that's going into this field, that really, really exemplifies all of the good teachings of everything we do here. So Samantha Rometti. Again, I have the actual plaques backstage, so if your students won any awards tonight, I will have them up here, and if you want to take a picture of them or me, just be aware I'll break the camera. You're more than welcome to do that. This next student, again, same idea, has been here a lot, not just for his section, but the entire program as a whole. Really, really helpful person when it comes to hey, go take them for a second. Go take the cellos. I gave it away, sorry. Again, really, really top-notch just person, again, going into music as well. The second winner of the Director's Award is Brandon Gajic. The The last award we give out is the National School Orchestra Award. This is not just a Farmington recognized award, this is actually a countrywide award. It means a lot to me because I actually won this award in high school. It really is just the person that, like, it's just like the most valuable player in Philharmonian concert. It's whoever you think is not just the best player in the ensemble, but also the best leader, family-oriented. When you think of orchestra, especially at the symphony level, who's the first name that comes to your mind? And I have the students vote on this, so it's 100% secret ballot. They don't know at all who it is. They're so tired. Same. Monday concerts, whoever talked me into that, just stop. Yeah, but this person has just been an amazing human being, and I'm gonna miss them so much. Jacqueline Brown. So that's all the awards, but now it's time for all the thank yous. And I'm sorry, there's just a lot of people that go into this, that not just me to make this program run. So first I want to thank our Farmington High School admin team, Chris Musner, Linda Shannon, and Leon Wallace. Without their support and all the things that they do here, we wouldn't have such an awesome orchestra program. So round of applause for them, please. Next, I want to thank our Board of Education and specifically our superintendent, Dr. Kelly Coffin. Is she here by chance? Crickets. Okay, she has been nothing but supportive of the fine arts here. If you don't know, like next year, again, the district is pushing for all of us to have new concert wear, not just over here at Farmington, but also at North. Band, orchestra, choir, and marching bands at both at both high schools. They're really pushing a lot of money into this program and making it a lot better. So please give them a round of applause for Farmington Public Schools. Next, I want to thank the Odd Tech class, specifically the people who are here, but also the Odd Tech class in general. They don't get enough praise for all the work that they do behind the scenes, especially Nathan Cromwell, who's the auditorium director here. For every concert that you see that the sound's working, the lights are on, there's usually 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 people backstage doing things that you've never seen, coming out, doing chairs and whatnot. And as the leader of that class, I'm just so proud of everything they do and all the work that they put into all our concerts to make us look good, sound good, and light up good. Especially on this kind of, so thank you, Autech and Nathan Cromwell. Next, I'd like to thank the Farmington High School music patrons, specifically our orchestra chair, Andrew Brown, who I said earlier has just been nothing but incredible for this program. All the swag that you see up here and just all like the good things that are coming outside the scenes, all the money we've raised is really mostly because of her, but also just the music patrons in general. Again, I would love to see you guys at future meetings. We'd love to fill those positions with more orchestra people, so if you're interested, come see us. But yeah, thank you so much to the patrons and Andrea specifically. Thank you. Next, I want to thank Scott Schroeder, who was the accompanist for both the Brahms duo and the Saint-Saëns, the violin Saint-Saëns. I called him a month and a half ago, be like, hey, do you want to do these two things? He was like, yeah, sure, no problem. And he's just been a rock star. He only rehearsed with us twice with the Brahms, and like, it's just phenomenal. So thank you, Scott. Really appreciate it. I already said my thank you to the seniors, but thank you, seniors. I really appreciate it. You're the last class of like people that had me like not all 4 years of high school, and so you really accepted me into this family, and I really appreciate it because I'm not going anywhere else. I'm neither dying in my office or on my chair at home. So thank you. I really appreciate you guys. Next, I'd like to thank like all you guys, all the parents, all the students, everyone in this auditorium right now, because again, if there wasn't you guys, we would not have this amazing program, especially to your parents, just because you guys are the ones that pay for the instruments, pay for the lessons, pay for when the string breaks, pay for Disney World, which is happening next year, surprise. You'll have an email about that next time, very soon. But students, please give your parents a round of applause, because if it wasn't for them, none of this would be here, including you. Cool. Lastly, and honestly in my book, more importantly, I want to thank my wife, just because this job is not the friendliest on time. at all. For example, these next 3 days, I am not going to be home until about 10:30 at night between all my meetings and stuff that I'm doing. And it's going to get even worse because June is so much fun. Good luck seeing your families. You'll be great. And she knew what she was getting into. We actually met in high school in our orchestra program. So if it wasn't for orchestra, we would not actually. That was almost cinematic right there. Nice job, Donkey. Good job. I would not be the educator I am without her, truly. If I didn't go home every day to like someone that understands what's going on, and on top of all that, knows what is going on here, and like being a first-time mom, just my God, I thought I was tired. She wins. She wins by a landslide and a half. So to Kiara and my daughter Lily, thank you so much. Thank you for making me the educators I am. I love you. I can't wait to put Lily down for her bed tonight. I'm gonna be so excited. She's still awake. Oh my God. Pray for me. So thank you. Our last piece for symphony is the Tchaik Serenade for Strings. Just the finale. We're not gonna do the whole suite for you because this, again, I'm going to try to beat the band concert. This was the only piece that symphony had a choice on, so I let them vote it in. By the way, the cellos swept all this year. Cellos won in concert, fill, and symphony, so. Of course they did. This is truly like the piece we should end on. It is perfect for this year. This group before you has done incredible things. We've gone straight ones at festival with some of the with the hardest program in the state. One of our students, Connor Ost, actually made a piece that got accepted into the Young Composers of Michigan competition, and we went out to Grand Rapids and got to premiere it. The music making this year has been incredible. All the music that we've done at every concert and Halloween was collegiate. Seriously, every single one was real music, like nothing was doctored, anything like that. It's been incredible. And I'm just incredibly proud of this group behind me. Geez, they're not behind you. Yeah, so this is just the perfect ending to like an awesome, awesome year of music. So here's the Tchaik Serenade. Thank you so much. We'll see you in the fall.